Admiral John Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Guardian, his eyes fixed on the main screen. His heart beat faster as he watched the alien ships appear near Jupiter. They came out of nowhere, like ghosts turning solid. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. "How many?" he asked, his voice steady despite his fear. "Over 3,000 vessels, sir," said Lieutenant Mary Jackson. Her fingers moved quickly across her control panel. "Most are bigger than anything we have. Their technology readings are off the charts." Carter nodded. For years, people had wondered if aliens existed. Now they had their answer, but not the one they wanted. "Any communications?" he asked. "Just coming in now, sir," said Communications Officer Paul Grant. It's a message for all of Earth." The screen changed. A tall, thin alien with gray-blue skin and 4 eyes looked at them. Its mouth was small and tight, like it was always angry. "People of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am Supreme Overlord Zarvex of the Galactic Hegemony. For 10,000 years we have ruled this sector of the galaxy. We have watched your primitive species develop. You are now advanced enough to be useful, but not advanced enough to be a threat. You will surrender your planet and all resources to us immediately. You have 48 hours to prepare your leaders for our arrival. Resistance is futile. Those who resist will be destroyed. Those who submit will serve." The screen went black. "Send this to the UN Security Council," Carter ordered. "And get me General Martinez. We need to move our defenses into position." Back on Earth, the United Nations building in New York was chaos. Leaders from every country shouted over each other. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to surrender. Many just seemed lost. Dr. Susan Wright walked into the room and people got quiet. She was Earth's top expert on alien life, though until today she had only studied possible alien biology. "The translation was perfect," she said. "Too perfect. They've been studying us for a long time." She put her own data on the big screen. "I analyzed their message. They mentioned other species they've conquered. Based on how they talk about these other aliens, I believe the hegemony follows a pattern. They find developing worlds, wait until they have useful technology, then take over." "So they want our resources and our labor," said the Chinese representative. "Yes," said Susan, "but they don't see us as equals. We're just another species to add to their collection." "What chance do we have against them?" asked the Russian president. "You saw their fleet." General Alan Martinez stepped forward. He was in charge of Earth's defense forces, which now seemed very small. "We have 200 space vessels," he said. "Most are not built for war. We have defense platforms around Earth and Mars. Some weapons on the moon base. It's not enough for a direct fight." "So we surrender?" asked someone. "No," said Martinez. "We buy time. I'm moving our ships to protect our space stations and major cities. We need to start evacuating people from big targets like New York, Beijing, and Moscow. And we need to gather our best scientists. We might be behind in technology, but humans are good at catching up fast." Outside the building, millions of people watched the news. The aliens' message played on every screen in every language. Some people ran in fear, others prayed. Many just hugged their loved ones. In orbit around Earth, the UES Guardian and other ships moved into defensive positions. Admiral Carter knew they couldn't win a direct battle, but maybe they could show these aliens that humans wouldn't give up easily. "All ships maintain formation," he said. "We protect Earth until the last ship, the last person." He looked at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, the alien fleet was getting ready to attack. Humanity's greatest test was about to begin. "Ambassador." William Foster smoothed his tie for the 5th time. His hands were shaking. In 10 minutes, he would speak for all of humanity to an alien species that wanted to enslave them. The United Nations had picked him because of his calm manner and skills in tough talks. "Remember, just read the statement we agreed on," said the UN Secretary. "Offer our surrender with the conditions we discussed." Foster nodded, but something burned inside him. The aliens had just destroyed the moon base. All 10,000 people there were gone in one flash of light. His sister had been the base doctor. When the screen lit up and the 4-eyed face of Supreme Overlord Zarvex appeared, Foster felt a cold anger replace his fear. Your time is up, said Zarvex. What is your answer, human? Foster looked at the paper in his hands, the carefully written surrender. He placed it on the table. The people of Earth have considered your offer, he said, voice steady. We reject your terms of surrender. The room gasped. This wasn't the plan. Instead, Foster continued, we propose an alliance. Humanity is resourceful, creative, and determined. We could be valuable partners rather than slaves. We offer friendship and cooperation. Zarvex's small mouth twisted. Then he laughed, a cold sound like breaking glass. You are the 23rd species to suggest such an arrangement, he said. Your arrogance is noted. The screen changed to show planets burning, cities turned to dust, oceans boiling away. These worlds also thought they were special, said Zarvex. They were wrong. Your punishment will be exemplary. The screen went black. What have you done? The secretary shouted at Foster. That wasn't the agreement. They destroyed the moon base before we even answered, Foster said. They were never going to accept any terms, at least now we die with dignity. Alarms blared across the building. Outside, people pointed at the sky. Strange lights appeared over major cities worldwide. General Martinez burst into the room. They're starting attacks on major population centers, he said. We need to evacuate now. In her lab, deep under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Nicole Adams watched the news with horror. The hegemony ships were positioning themselves over cities: New York, London, Beijing, Moscow, Tokyo. Her phone rang. It was the president. Dr. Adams, we need your quantum shield technology now, not in 6 months. Mr. President, it's not ready, she said. The power requirements are... Doctor, we don't have time for perfect, he cut in. How soon can you give us something that works? Nicole looked at her team of scientists. They all looked back, waiting for her answer. 3 days for a small-scale test. 2 weeks for something we could use to protect a city, she said. But sir, even then, you have all the resources of the United States, said the president. Whatever you need, just make it happen. In space, Admiral Carter watched helplessly as the alien ships began their attack. Energy beams cut through buildings like they were made of paper. His ships tried to fight back, but their weapons barely scratched the alien shields. Sir, we can't stop them, said Lieutenant Jackson. Our weapons aren't strong enough. Keep fighting, ordered Carter. Every minute we keep their attention is another minute for people to get to safety. The UES Guardian shook as it took a hit. Alarm screamed. Direct hit to engines, reported Officer Grant. We're losing power. Aim for the small ships, said Carter. Target their weapon systems. Across Earth, something unexpected was happening. Nations that had been enemies for decades were suddenly working together. Russian ships protected American cities. Chinese missiles defended European targets. Brazilian scientists shared secret technology with Korean engineers. In bunkers and emergency centers, leaders made a decision. If Earth was going to fall, they would fall together, and they would make the aliens pay for every inch of ground. 2 weeks after the first attacks, Chief Engineer Peter Rodriguez hadn't slept for more than 3 hours at a time. He sat in a dark room filled with screens, watching recordings of alien ships in battle. Something about their shields bothered him. Play it again, he told his assistant. Slow it down to 1/10 speed. The video showed a hegemony warship taking hits from Earth's weapons. The alien shield glowed blue where the shots hit. There, Peter pointed. See that pattern? The shield flickers for 0.3 seconds after a hit. It's like it's breathing. His assistant looked confused. What does that mean? It means their shields aren't perfect, said Peter. They have a rhythm, a pattern we might exploit. If we time our attacks just right, we might get through. He grabbed his phone and called General Martinez. Sir, I need to show you something right away. Meanwhile, Captain Lisa Daniels prepared her crew for the most dangerous mission yet. Her ship, the U.S. Defiant, was small and fast. They had painted it black to hide against the darkness of space. Our target is a hegemony scout ship, she told her team. Intelligence believes it's gathering data on our defenses. We're going to capture it. Lieutenant Greg Owen raised his hand. Capture? Not destroy? Correct, said Lisa. We need their technology. Dr. Adams needs samples of their shield generators and weapon systems if we're going to have any chance of fighting back. The mission was set for that night. The Defiant would approach under cover of a meteor shower, disable the scout ship with targeted EMP blasts, and board it before the hegemony could send help. As Lisa checked her gear, she thought about Earth. In just 2 weeks, the aliens had taken control of most major cities. Millions were dead. Billions were hiding in the countryside or in underground shelters. Yet humans kept fighting back. Small victories gave people hope. The ship's alarm sounded. Time to move, she said. In her lab, Dr. Nicole Adams worked with alien technology recovered. From crashed ships, progress was slow but steady. Their power sources are incredible, she told her team. They use a form of energy we've never seen before. It's like they can pull power directly from quantum fluctuations. A young scientist named Kevin Palmer looked up from his computer. What if we could disrupt those fluctuations? Create a field that prevents them from accessing that energy? Nicole stopped and stared at him. That might work. We'd need to create a quantum disruptor field. It wouldn't damage their ships directly, but it could shut down their power temporarily. Or permanently, if they can't restart their systems, said Kevin. Nicole smiled for the first time in days. Let's build a prototype. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Martinez and Admiral Carter planned humanity's counterattack. On a large table was a map showing hegemony ship positions and Earth defenses. We're losing ground every day, said Carter. But we're learning their patterns. They're methodical, predictable. They don't expect us to keep fighting after such heavy losses. That's their weakness, said Martinez. They don't understand humans. We've been fighting ourselves for thousands of years. We know how to keep going when things look hopeless. He placed markers on the map. I call this Operation Scattered Thunder. Small, fast attacks on multiple targets simultaneously. We hit and run before they can respond. Carter nodded. And while we distract them, Captain Daniels captures their scout ship. Exactly, said Martinez. We need that ship. If Dr. Adams can reverse engineer their technology, we might have a fighting chance. In orbit around Earth, the UES Defiant moved silently toward its target. Captain Daniels watched the alien scout ship through her view screen. It was beautiful in a strange way, with smooth curves and glowing blue lines along its hull. All systems ready, reported Lieutenant Owen. EMP charged and targeted. On my mark, said Lisa, her heart racing. 3, 2, 1, fire. A pulse of energy shot from the Defiant and hit the scout ship. Its lights flickered and went out. It worked, said Owen. Their systems are down. Boarding team ready, said Lisa. Let's go get our prize. The hegemony launched their main attack against Earth's orbital defenses 1 month after first contact. Admiral Carter watched from the bridge of his new ship, the UES Avenger. His old ship, the Guardian, had been destroyed, saving a civilian. Transport. They're coming in from all sides, reported Lieutenant Mary Jackson. 50 capital ships, hundreds of smaller vessels. All stations prepare for battle, ordered Carter. Remember the plan. Don't engage directly. Hit and run, just like we practiced. Earth's remaining space stations were the first targets. The aliens destroyed them one by one with powerful energy weapons. Each station had already been evacuated. But the loss of the orbital platform still hurt Earth's defenses badly. What the hegemony didn't know was that humans had been preparing for this moment. As soon as the alien fleet engaged, hidden ships emerged from behind Earth's moon. Commander Jack Wilson led the surprise attack squadron. His 20 small, fast ships carried Dr. Adams's experimental quantum disruptors. All ships follow me, he said. Remember, we don't need to destroy them. Just deploy the disruptors and get out. Wilson's squadron flew past the main battle, heading straight for the largest alien ships at the back of the formation. These massive dreadnoughts were each the size of a small city. They're not even trying to stop us, said Wilson's co-pilot. They think we're no threat. Let's prove them wrong, said Wilson. As they approached the first dreadnought, alien fighters finally moved to intercept them. But they were too late. Wilson's ships had already reached deployment range. "Now," he ordered. Each ship released a small device that looked like a metal sphere. The spheres activated, creating invisible fields that disrupted quantum energy. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the nearest alien dreadnought's engines began to glow too brightly. The ship seemed to bend in a way that hurt to look at. Suddenly, it collapsed in on itself, creating a small but powerful singularity that pulled in two nearby hegemony ships before disappearing. "It worked," shouted Wilson. "Target the next dreadnought." On Earth, Major Samantha Kelly led her Special Forces team through the ruins of Boston. The hegemony had landed ground troops there 3 days ago. Her mission was to protect the city's main power plant, which supplied energy to underground shelters housing thousands of civilians. "Movement ahead," whispered Sergeant Joe Barnes, pointing to a tall building. Kelly signaled her team to take cover. 6 alien soldiers came around the corner. They wore advanced armor and carried weapons that fired energy bolts instead of bullets. "Hold. Fire until they're closer," she ordered quietly. The aliens moved slowly, clearly struggling with Earth's gravity. Their homeworld must have lower gravity, making Earth's pull uncomfortable for them. "Now," said Kelly. Her team opened fire. The aliens tried to activate their personal shields, but they were too slow. 5 went down immediately. The 6th managed to fire back, but its aim was off due to the higher gravity. Barnes finished it with a well-placed shot. "Check their equipment," ordered Kelly. "See if there's anything useful for the science team." As they collected alien technology, Kelly's radio crackled. "Major, this is command. We're picking up strange energy readings from your area. Possible alien reinforcements incoming." "Roger that," she replied. "We'll finish up and move out." Suddenly, the ground shook. A massive alien dropship appeared overhead, much larger than the ones they'd seen before. "Everyone to the tunnels," shouted Kelly. Her team ran for the old subway tunnels as the dropship landed, crushing buildings beneath it. Dozens of alien soldiers poured out. "Command, we need backup," called Kelly as they reached the tunnels. "They're bringing in heavy forces." "Negative, Major," came the reply. "All units are engaged. You're on your own." Kelly looked at her team. 8 humans against what looked like 100 aliens. "All right, people," she said. "We can't let them take the power plant. We'll use the tunnels to our advantage. They're stronger with better weapons, but we know this city, and they're not used to our gravity." Barnes grinned. "Plus, did you see how they move? They hate the cold. Boston in November should be real fun for them." Kelly nodded. "Set up ambush points here, here, and here. We'll make them pay for every step." In space, Commander Wilson's squadron had caused chaos in the hegemony fleet. 3 dreadnoughts had been destroyed by their own engines after the quantum. Disruptors interfered with their power systems. "All ships return to base," ordered Wilson. "Mission accomplished." As they turned back toward Earth, Wilson saw that the main battle was still raging. Earth's defenses were holding better than expected, but they were still outmatched. The war was far from over. But for the first time, humans had a genuine victory to celebrate. 6 months passed since the aliens first appeared. Earth was wounded but still fighting. The hegemony controlled large parts of the planet, but they were surprised by how hard humans fought back. They had never met a species that refused to give up after their main cities were taken. Dr. Nicole Adams worked day and night in her hidden lab under the Rocky Mountains. The captured alien scout ship had given them valuable technology and information. "I think I found something big," she told General Martinez during their weekly meeting. "The hegemony ships all connect to each other through a quantum-entangled network. It's how they coordinate their attacks so perfectly." Martinez leaned forward. "Can we tap into it?" "Maybe," said Nicole. "But we'd need someone to interface with it directly. It's part machine, part organic. It seems to link to the hegemony commander's mind somehow." "So we need a volunteer," said Martinez. "A brave one," added Nicole. "We don't know what connecting to an alien network might do to a human brain." The next day, they found their volunteer. Lieutenant Frank Miller was a cybersecurity expert who had worked for the government before the war. He had lost his wife and 2 children when the aliens destroyed Chicago. I've got nothing left to lose, he told Nicole as she prepared him for the procedure. If this helps us fight back, it's worth the risk. The interface looked like a silver helmet covered in wires. Nicole placed it on Frank's head. We'll start slowly, she said. Just try to sense the network first. Don't try to move through it yet. Frank closed his eyes as Nicole activated the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then his body went rigid. What do you see? Asked Nicole. Colors, patterns, whispered Frank. It's beautiful but strange. Not like our computer systems at all. It's alive somehow. Can you access any information? Frank's face showed surprise. Yes, it's opening to me. I can see ship locations, communication records, battle plans. This is amazing, said Nicole. Can you? Suddenly, Frank screamed in pain. His body arched up from the chair. Shut it down, yelled Martinez. I can't, said Nicole, frantically working the controls. Something's fighting back. The network knows he's there. After 30 terrible seconds, Frank collapsed back into the chair. The helmet sparked and went dark. Nicole quickly removed it. Frank, can you hear me? Slowly, his eyes opened. But they looked different now. Tiny flecks of light moved across his irises. I saw them, he said, his voice hoarse. The Xanthori, the rulers of the hegemony, they're connected to every ship through the network. It's not just a communication system, it's part of them. What else did you learn? Asked Martinez gently. They're angry, said Frank. They've never had a species fight back this hard. They've called for their ultimate weapons, planet killers. Nicole gasped. When? Soon. Very soon. First target is Sydney, Australia. They want to make an example. Martinez immediately grabbed his phone to warn the Australian government. But Frank grabbed his arm. It won't matter, he said. The weapon is already in position. They're going to destroy the entire city. And that's just the beginning. 3 days later, Sydney was gone. A beam from orbit turned the beautiful city into a smoking crater. 7 million people died in seconds. The world watched in horror as the hegemony broadcast the destruction to every screen on Earth. Supreme Overlord Zarvex appeared afterward. This is the price of resistance, he said. Surrender now, or we will destroy another city every 3 days, until nothing remains of your civilization. But instead of breaking humanity's spirit, the destruction of Sydney had the opposite effect. Rage replaced fear. Countries that had considered surrender now pledged to fight to the end. In his private quarters, Admiral Carter looked at a photo of Sydney he had visited once, years ago. He placed the photo down and called General Martinez. Is Miller's information accurate? Can we really access their network? Dr. Adams thinks so, said Martinez. We're working on a more stable interface, something that won't hurt our people. We don't have time for that, said Carter. The hegemony is preparing to destroy Madrid next. We need to act now. What are you suggesting? Operation Final Answer, said Carter. We use everything we've learned about their weaknesses, their gravity issues, their shield fluctuations, and most importantly, their network. We hit them with everything we have everywhere at once. It's risky, said Martinez. If we fail, we'll have nothing left. And if we do nothing, we're dead anyway, replied Carter. Get everyone ready. We move in 48 hours. Operation Final Answer began at dawn. Every remaining human ship launched at once. It was humanity's biggest coordinated attack since the war started. Captain Lisa Daniels led the mission that might decide Earth's fate. All systems ready, reported her second-in-command. The alien tech we added to our ship is working perfectly. Daniels nodded. Her ship, now called the UES Phoenix, was Earth's first hybrid vessel. Engineers had combined human technology with parts from the captured scout ship. It wasn't as powerful as a hegemony ship, but it was faster and had better stealth capabilities. Begin approach to target, she ordered. Their mission was the most dangerous of all. While other Earth forces attacked hegemony positions around the planet to distract them, Daniels and her crew would strike directly at Supreme Overlord Zarvex's flagship in orbit. Entering stealth mode, said the pilot. The Phoenix's engines quieted to a whisper as special panels on the hull absorbed radar and light, making the ship nearly invisible. They slipped past the outer ring of alien ships undetected. "Status of boarding team?" asked Daniels. Major Samantha Kelly stepped forward. After holding off the aliens in Boston for weeks, she and her team had been chosen for this critical mission. "Ready, Captain," she said. "My team knows what to do once we're aboard." The flagship appeared on their screens. It was enormous, at least 5 times the size of Earth's largest vessel. Its hull glowed with strange blue energy. "They've spotted us," shouted the sensor officer. "Shields up." The Phoenix rocked as enemy fire struck them. Alarms blared throughout the ship. "Engines hit," reported the engineer. "We're losing power." Daniels gripped her chair. "Keep going, full speed. Get us close enough for the boarding team." The Phoenix pushed forward, taking more hits. Fires broke out on lower decks, but they kept moving closer to the flagship. "We're in range," said Kelly. "Opening airlock now." Kelly and her team rushed to the ship's boarding pods. These small vessels could attach to an enemy ship's hull and cut through. "Good luck," said Daniels. "The fate of Earth depends on what you find in there." The pods launched, speeding toward the flagship while the Phoenix continued to draw fire. 2 pods were destroyed immediately. The third, with Kelly inside, made it through. Kelly felt the impact as their pod struck the alien ship. Automatic cutting. Tools began to slice through the hull. "Breaching in 10 seconds, she told her team. "Weapons ready." The hole opened, and they pushed through into a strange corridor with walls that seemed alive, pulsing with light. Alien crew members rushed toward them, weapons raised. "Now!" shouted Kelly. Her team fired special EMP grenades that disrupted the aliens' energy weapons. In the confusion, the humans advanced, fighting hand-to-hand when necessary. The aliens were stronger, but as they discovered in Boston, they struggled in combat due to Earth's higher gravity. "Move toward the command center," ordered Kelly. "We need to reach the communications hub." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Frank Miller sat in Dr. Adams's lab, wearing an improved neural interface helmet. Through it, he could see the battle unfolding across Earth and in space. "The distraction is working," he reported. "Most hegemony forces are engaged with our attack groups, but they're calling for reinforcements from nearby systems." "Can you block those calls?" asked General Martinez. "I'm trying," said Frank, his face tense with concentration. "But whenever I block one channel, they find another. Their network is complex." "Keep trying," said Martinez. "We need to buy Kelly's team more time." On the flagship, Kelly's team fought their way deeper into the ship. 3 of her people were down, but they kept moving forward. Finally, they reached a large door covered in alien symbols. "This should be it," she said. "Plant the breaching charges." The explosion blew the door open. Inside was a circular room, filled with strange technology. In the center stood a platform where several Xanthori, the tall 4-eyed rulers of the hegemony, worked at control panels. "Fire!" ordered Kelly. Her team's weapons cut down the surprised aliens before they could react. Kelly rushed to the main control panel, which looked like a glowing orb. "We're in the communications hub," she reported through her radio. "What now?" Back on Earth, Frank heard her. Through the neural interface, he could see the hub as if he were there. "Connect the device," he told her. Kelly attached a small box to the orb. This device, created by Dr. Adams, would allow Frank to access the hegemony's central network directly. "Device connected," said Kelly. Frank took a deep breath. "Beginning upload now." Instead of just accessing the network as before, Frank was now sending something into it. A virus designed to target the Xanthori's neural connections. It was a risky move that might kill the aliens or simply disconnect them. "It's working," he said, his voice strained. "I can feel them dying across the fleet. Their connection is breaking." Aboard the flagship, Kelly watched as the few remaining Xanthori suddenly collapsed, their bodies shaking as if in say. Operation Final Answer began at dawn. Every remaining human ship launched at once. It was humanity's biggest coordinated attack since the war started. Captain Lisa Daniels led the mission that might decide Earth's fate. "All systems ready," reported her second-in-command. The alien tech we added to our ship is working perfectly. Daniels nodded. Her ship, now called the UES Phoenix, was Earth's first hybrid vessel. Engineers had combined human technology with parts from the captured scout ship. It wasn't as powerful as a hegemony ship, but it was faster and had better stealth capabilities. Begin approach to target, she ordered. Their mission was the most dangerous of all. While other Earth forces attacked hegemony positions around the planet to distract them, Daniels and her crew would strike directly at Supreme Overlord Zarvex's flagship in orbit. Entering stealth mode, said the pilot. The Phoenix's engines quieted to a whisper as special panels on the hull absorbed radar and light, making the ship nearly invisible. They slipped past the outer ring of alien ships undetected. Status of boarding team? Asked Daniels. Major Samantha Kelly stepped forward. After holding off the aliens in Boston for weeks, she and her team had been chosen for this critical mission. Ready, Captain, she said. My team knows what to do once we're aboard. The flagship appeared on their screens. It was enormous, at least 5 times the size of Earth's largest vessel. Its hull glowed with strange blue energy. They've spotted us, shouted the sensor officer. Shields up. The Phoenix rocked as enemy fire struck them. Alarms blared throughout the ship. Engines hit, reported the engineer. We're losing power. Daniels gripped her chair. Keep going, full speed. Get us close enough for the boarding team. The Phoenix pushed forward, taking more hits. Fires broke, out on lower decks, but they kept moving closer to the flagship. We're in range, said Kelly. Opening airlock now. Kelly and her team rushed to the ship's boarding pods. These small vessels could attach to an enemy ship's hull and cut through. Good luck, said Daniels. The fate of Earth depends on what you find in there. The pods launched, speeding toward the flagship while the Phoenix continued to draw fire. 2 pods were destroyed immediately. The third, with Kelly inside, made it through. Kelly felt the impact as their pod struck the alien ship. Automatic cutting. Tools began to slice through the hull. Breaching in 10 seconds, she told her team. Weapons ready. The hole opened, and they pushed through into a strange corridor with walls that seemed alive, pulsing with light. Alien crew members rushed toward them, weapons raised. Now! Shouted Kelly. Her team fired special EMP grenades that disrupted the aliens' energy weapons. In the confusion, the humans advanced, fighting hand-to-hand when necessary. The aliens were stronger, but as they discovered in Boston, they struggled in combat due to Earth's higher gravity. Move toward the command center, ordered Kelly. We need to reach the communications hub. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Frank Miller sat in Dr. Adams's lab, wearing an improved neural interface helmet. Through it, he could see the battle unfolding across Earth and in space. The distraction is working, he reported. Most hegemony forces are engaged with our attack groups, but they're calling for reinforcements from nearby systems. Can you block those calls? Asked General Martinez. I'm trying, said Frank, his face tense with concentration. But whenever I block one channel, they find another. Their network is complex. Keep trying, said Martinez. We need to buy Kelly's team more time. On the flagship, Kelly's team fought their way deeper into the ship. 3 of her people were down, but they kept moving forward. Finally, they reached a large door covered in alien symbols. This should be it, she said. Plant the breaching charges. The explosion blew the door open. Inside was a circular room filled with strange technology. In the center stood a platform where several Xanthori, the tall, 4-eyed rulers of the hegemony, worked at control panels. Fire! Ordered Kelly. Her team's weapons cut down the surprised aliens before they could react. Kelly rushed to the main control panel, which looked like a glowing orb. We're in the communications hub, she reported through her radio. What now? Back on Earth, Frank heard her. Through the neural interface, he could see the hub as if he were there. Connect the device, he told her. Kelly attached a small box to the orb. This device, created by Dr. Adams, would allow Frank to access the hegemony's central network directly. Device connected, said Kelly. Frank took a deep breath. Beginning upload now. Instead of just accessing the network as before, Frank was now sending something into it, a virus designed to target the Xanthori's neural connections. It was a risky move that might kill the aliens or simply disconnect them. "It's working," he said, his voice strained. "I can feel them dying across the fleet. Their connection is breaking." Aboard the flagship, Kelly watched as the few remaining Xanthori suddenly collapsed, their bodies shaking as if in seizure. "It's working," she told her team. "Now let's get out of here before—" The ship shuddered violently, throwing them to the floor. "What's happening?" asked one of her soldiers. Kelly looked at a display showing the outside of the ship. Admiral Carter's forces had broken through and were attacking the flagship directly. "Our ride is here," she said with a grim smile. "Let's move." 1 year after the quantum cascade weapon was deployed, Admiral Lisa Daniels stood on the bridge of her ship, the UES Phoenix. It had been rebuilt and improved with technology from across the galaxy. Through the large windows, she could see dozens of alien ships flying alongside human vessels. They were not enemies, but allies. "Admiral, we're approaching the rendezvous point," said her first officer. "Thank you," said Daniels. "Tell our allies we'll begin the ceremony in 30 minutes. The ship was heading to what used to be the center of hegemony power. Now it was the meeting place for the new Galactic Concordat, an alliance of 27 formerly oppressed species, including humans. The modified quantum cascade weapon had worked better than expected. It had targeted only the hegemony's military, systems and leadership networks. Their fleets were disabled, their weapons failed. The ruling Xanthori lost control of their vast empire in a single day. What no one expected was how quickly the other species under hegemony rule would rise up. Hundreds of worlds that had been forced to serve the Xanthori for generations suddenly found their oppressors powerless. Freedom spread across the galaxy faster than anyone could have predicted. On Earth, reconstruction was moving quickly. Dr. Nicole Adams now led the Galactic Science Initiative, where human scientists worked with aliens to solve problems together. Teams were rebuilding cities with new technology that was stronger and more efficient than before. Lieutenant Frank Miller had changed the most. His mind, permanently altered by connecting to the alien network, allowed him to communicate with synthetic intelligences that had been enslaved by the hegemony. These digital beings had been forced to run the Empire's systems but were now free. Miller became the bridge between organic and digital life. The Phoenix arrived at the meeting point. Representatives from all 27 member species gathered in the Great Hall. Some looked almost human. Others were very different, beings of crystal, gas, or energy. Yet all had suffered under the hegemony and all had celebrated its fall. President Rebecca Morgan stood to address them. She had been re-elected by a landslide after leading Earth through its darkest hour. "Friends and allies," she began. 1 year ago we were fighting for survival. The hegemony thought us weak because we came to the stars later than others. What they didn't understand was that Earth's long history of challenges had prepared us for adversity. She looked around the room, meeting the eyes, or sensing organs, of each species. We never wanted war. We offered peace first. But when forced to fight, we showed that determination and unity are stronger than any weapon. Now we have a chance to build something better than the hegemony ever created. The delegates applauded in their various ways. Some clapped hands. Others flashed lights or released scented chemicals. "The Galactic Concordat stands for 3 principles," continued Morgan. "Freedom for all sentient beings, cooperation in the face of challenges, and protection for developing worlds so they may join us as equals when they're ready." After the ceremony, Daniels walked with Major Kelly, now General Kelly, through the ship's garden. "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" asked Kelly, looking at the stars through the glass dome. "Allied with so many different species?" "Never," admitted Daniels. "I just wanted Earth to survive." "And now we're leading a galactic alliance," said Kelly with a smile. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent message. "Admiral General, you're needed on the bridge." When they arrived, Lieutenant Miller was waiting with several alien scientists. His eyes flickered with the same strange light they had shown since his connection to the network. "We've detected something," he said. "At the edge of the galaxy, something massive is coming." The main screen showed readings from long-range probes. A dark mass was moving toward the galaxy from deep space. "Is it the hegemony?" asked Daniels. "Some hidden fleet?" "No," said Miller. "It's something else. Something older. The digital archives we recovered suggest the hegemony was running from something when they started conquering other species." President Morgan joined them on the bridge. She studied the readings with concern, but also determination.